Hello, welcome back. So let's actually go out into space now and do stuff. You know, it's a space sim. So far we've only seen cutscenes of things taking place in space, so let's actually play. You know? Alright, as I already read the last time, we have a mission to meet up with the CEO and then escort a convoy to some place called Planet Pittsburgh. Let's see how that goes.
You must be Trent. I'm King, the CEO of this mission. I contacted the lead transport of the convoy. They've completed pre-launch checks and are ready to go. Should be an easy run from here to Fort Bush and then on to Pittsburgh. Ready?
It's good to meet you, King. Is that a Rhineland cruiser?
That's the Donau, Admiral Schultzky's flagship. He's visiting Manhattan to attend a high-level meeting with President Jacoby. Keep your distance.
Newark Station, this is RNC Donau, requesting clearance to dock with your station. Over.
Affirmative, Donau. You are cleared for docking point 6. Liberty welcomes you and Admiral Schultzky. Donau, be advised, we're picking up unknown contacts. Advise caution.
Understood, Newark. All escorts, power up weapons.
Affirmative. Ready to engage.
Roger. Tracking incoming ships. Unidentified ships. This is Newark Station. You are entering restricted space. Alter course at once or we will open fire.
New York, do not interfere. We're here to protect the president.
Red alert.
Schultzky's a traitor.
Hit. Launch all rescue and
What
defensive
the
units.
frickin' frick?
Fighters engage enemy ships. All escorts open fire. Oh my god.
So, now we're actually in combat. The fun thing is about this tutorial is that these ships aren't actually fighting back.
The Donau! Newark, this is LSF Patrol Gamma 6.
At least not
Engage
in
enemy.
our direction, so...
Confirmed, Gamma 6.
Alright, let me talk a little bit about the information screens that we have. In the lower right corner, there's sort of...
We can't let them get away. Engage the enemy.
Yeah, I'm already on that, thank you. In the lower right, we have our sort of...
Newark, we need reinforcements.
Interceptors are en route. The Colorado and its escort are inbound.
Can I talk? Thanks. In the lower right, we actually have sort of our weapon systems. Right now I activated an additional third weapon that I already had installed but didn't use so far. And, well, let me just go through the screen. Basically, there's our weapons. I'll probably remove that window because I know which weapons I'm using, and I think it just obstructs the view in this form, so I don't think this window is very interesting. In the lower left corner, there's sort of a list of targets that are close by, which can be filtered for various stuff. Right now, it's only showing us important stuff like our buddy King and our potential targets. So. But you can also filter that for just ships, for just stations, or for everything, or for just loot, or basically whatever you like. So I'm gonna be using that often. I'm also using a mod. I think I can talk about this right now, because when you play this game or when you remember this sequence, you probably think they tend to take a long time before they actually die. What's going on there? I'm using a mod. Shoutouts to Flamebird for this mod. It's actually a mod that really nobody can use because we're basically, because he basically made it, and I was one of the few people who actually got to do it. It's well, the unofficial name that we had is the high skills mod. Basically, the main reason for that was that normal, or for future reference, vanilla Freelancer was just too easy. Because basically everything was tuned in your favor. Like enemy ships, even though they had shields, their shields didn't regenerate other than your shields. Your shields regenerated alright, but for some reason nobody in the entire universe had shields that regenerated. Also, there's things which you can use to repair your ship or regenerate your shield in the middle of combat, which is these nanobots here and shield batteries here. But really nobody was using it. Yeah, so the enemies were always having those, but they never used it, which bothered me a lot. So in this mod, actually everything of that is true, which is the enemy shields regenerate, and if they have shield batteries and nanobots, they can use it. So combat would take a lot longer than usual, and they're also a lot more dangerous. As you saw, they were throwing mines at me, which depleted my shield. Luckily, they didn't fire at me, because then they would be really dangerous, but we'll see that in probably the next skirmishes. So we can also pick up loot. Basically, when you destroy ships, there's a chance that they would drop things, and we can use our tractor beam to get that. I think I already used the tractor beam to get nanobots and shield batteries at some point during the fight. I'll always use it after I shot someone down. So probably not talk about too much about this. Is when you have this
We read you.
beam here.
Radar is clear. SAR, report. Did you pick up any survivors?
Negative, Newark. We're continuing our sweep.
To all utility ships in the area, scan for survivors. All other vessels, return to normal duty, but stay alert.
Trent, there's nothing more we can do here. The transports are waiting at Fort Bush. I've uploaded a waypoint to your neural net. Just fly toward it.
Alright, then let's go. Yeah, we also have waypoints. We can fly to that manually by flying.
I can't believe it. How did they get this close to Manhattan without being detected? First Freeport 7. And now this. It's getting out of control. Alright, we've reached the trade lane. Engaging activation sequence. Trent, you go first.
Yes, we can dock with things that we need to do if we want to land somewhere. Here basically there's another sort of tab right here that I've normally that's normally not visible because I chose to have that way. We can also use autopilot to get to places. Normally I'm not gonna use it, but for docking you have to use it at some point because you can't just fly through here and then everything works out. You have to actually dock with it. So.
Hey Trent, don't you know how to use a trade lane? You have to select the trade lane ring, and then use the dock maneuver at the top of your HUD. Your navigation computer will take over from there.
Thanks for the info.
Activation sequence completed. Lane jump initiated. This is it, Trent. This is one of the major arteries through Manhattan space. We're only taking it as far as Fort Bush. If we kept going, we'd reach the jump gate to the Colorado system. Transport leader, this is LSF Patrol Gamma 6. We're here to escort you to Pittsburgh, over.
Roger, Gamma 6. This is the USV Brant. Pre-launch checks have been completed.
Trent, take up a position near the transport. Use the formation maneuver to link up with the convoy.
Alright.
Check. This is transport leader. All ships are in position and we show green status.
When we're in the formation, then
We heard the news about Schultzky. What happened?
The planetary defense grid was offline and the order managed to break through. They took out the Donau with their first missile salvo. We never had a chance to stop them. Looked like the order was determined to keep Schultzky from meeting the president. Hard to believe that this could happen. We better get going.
Let's hope for the best. Several convoys have come under attack in recent weeks. The rogue problem has gotten out of control in this area.
Don't worry, that's why we're here.
Activation sequence completed. Lane jump initiated.
alright, as I sort of
Looking good so far.
Alert! Trade lane disruption detected.
alright, engaging enemies. Yes, we've just experienced a trade lane attack. Basically, these trade lanes allow us to get to places faster, but enemies can basically shoot at them and then they're down for a minute or so. And then you get thrown out of the trade lane, which these rogues have done here, so...
Damn it! Trent, get your weapons ready. This could get rough. There! Rogues! Trent, break an attack! We've got to keep them away until the trade lane comes back up.
Oh, luckily they're shooting at King and on me. Basically, in this mod, enemies are using mines a lot more effectively, and they're using annoying shield-destroying mines. These mines really don't do much damage to my ship's hull. Basically, you have two layers of defenses, which is shield and hull, which you can see on the lower part of the screen. And these mines are really effective against shields, and basically everybody's having them. So, well, I could regenerate my shield faster by using shield batteries, but I'll probably just use it again when the next mine hits, so I'll only do that in emergencies. Let's just shoot him down for now. And let's try to keep moving. Also didn't talk too much about flying, because what I'm using here, this sort of third-person view, is probably not what you'd think to be the most natural when you come from space sims, because in most games you think it's more natural to look to be inside of the ship's cockpit, which you can actually do. Yeah, there's a special mode where you can see everything from the ship's cockpit, but it doesn't really give you anything, because there's no heads-up display that gives you radar information or basically anything that you don't have in third person. And also because of the way the movement works, the game is much better playable with a mouse, which also translates into better control while using third person. So while there may be a lot of reasons for me to go into first person view, there's really the entire gameplay is basically trying to discourage me from doing that. So I'm probably not going to do that. I'm sorry. Because of this mod, the game is already pretty hard, so I don't need to further give myself by limiting the information that I get. Even though it is a little bit weird that I see everything from behind the ship when I should actually be sitting in the ship and only have limited information. But, well, let's go the MechWarrior Online way and say we have a little drone flying behind us all the time. That seems legit, right? Anyway, so... Don't fly against this crap. Come on. Just die, fool. He's using shield batteries, but he's the last one, so I don't worry too much about that. Bye.
Last one. We better get out of here before more of them show up.
Yes.
Couldn't agree more. The trade lane is back up. Let's... Wait! Radar shows new targets. Gamma 6, we have to make a run for
Yeah,
it.
then make a run for it already.
We'll cover you. This is gonna be close, but I think we can make it without another fight. Everybody stay on course. Trent, do not engage the pirates. We have to get the convoy out of here.
Yeah, then just go already. I'm right here with you. We can also look behind us, and if we had a turret on our ship, we can also shoot behind us, so that's also some interesting strategy depending on which ship you're using. I'll probably not use it too much, because basically that's something for transport ships who have a lot of turrets, and because I'm doing the sort of main storyline, I'll probably not be using a transport ship, because they're a lot less maneuverable.
We made it! Everybody in one piece?
Barely. That was close. Thanks for getting us here in one piece, Gamma 6. We almost didn't make it.
A situation we're soon to fix. The rogues were better equipped than we expected, but we got what we came for. Thanks for playing the bait.
Now it's your turn to reel him in, King. We're gonna unload our cargo. Remember our bargain.
Oh.
I'm transferring the payment to your neural net account.
Understood. Transport leader out.
What's going on here?
Hey, King. What's going
on?
You'll see soon enough. Go ahead and land on Pittsburgh. I'll meet you on the surface.
Alright. Let's land there. And hooray, we finished our first mission. Way! Congratulations, you've advanced to pilot level 1. The new status allows you to purchase advanced equipment and ships that are appropriate to this level. Additionally, you're now allowed to take on more difficult and profitable missions that require advanced pilot skills. Yeah, we definitely showed that we have advanced pilot skills.
You'll find Pittsburgh to be remarkably unexciting, Trent. That's the mining operation. Not much to look at. A lot of rocks, smoke, and fire. But what it lacks in class, it more than makes up for in cheap drinks. Send your ship down on one of the landing pads over there.
certainly not much to look at.
Nice job, Trent. Now I believe I owe you some credits.
Hey, King. Did you know it was gonna get hot out there?
We're not done yet. We're just waiting for the others.
What others?
We've suspected for some time now that the Order has had ties to organized crime and Liberty. They may even be hiding a secret base. I think we're onto something here, and I've called for backup. We could really use you out there, Trent.
All right, but this had better be worth it.
It will be. I promise you. Oh, and, Trent, now that you have a little scratch, I'd look into outfitting that pile of junk you're flying. Try the equipment dealer over there. He always has good deals. I'll see you in space.
That's a pretty ugly hunk of junk, that ship that we're having. Since we got bruised a little and I didn't use nanobots to repair it, we actually have to pay some money to repair the damage. We don't have to. I mean, I could just continue going like this, but it's actually cheaper to repair the hull at the ship dealer than use a nanobot, because the nanobots are worth like 200 credits individually. So didn't use it. I'll be keeping those back for emergencies when I really need it and not when I just have a few scratches. Alright. Let's check the deals here. We also picked up some stuff along the way. Basically, the enemy ships dropped some mines that I could sell for another 120 bucks. Or I could get a mine launcher myself and throw mines at them, but yeah. I don't really like that. I mean, it does work eventually, but nah, I don't like throwing mines. It's too cost ineffective for my taste. I'm a laser guy, so right. But we can also customize our ship a lot. Like we can customize our weapons here. We could, for instance, buy one of these Class 2 Advanced Starbeam weapons, which are interesting, say the least. And I'm not saying they're better than what we already have, but they're interesting. I'm probably not going to do that. One reason for that will always be convergence, something that I'll probably talk a lot more about later. But let's just say, with the way that the aiming in this game works, you actually gain a lot if all the weapons you're using are using the same projectile speed, because this way you're basically hitting what you're aiming at with everything that you got. If you have weapons with different projectile speeds, then this is not true anymore, because the crosshairs can't really show you where everything's aiming at, so it will always aim for the fastest one, and the slowest one will probably then not hit when the target is moving, which in space it's probably a good assumption that the target will be moving. So yeah, because of this, I'll always try to maintain weapons that have the same projectile speed, and these Starbeams here are even better with regards to projectile speed, which generally translates to being more precise, but they also refire a little bit slower than the weapons that we're having, so I don't think it's worth the 700 credits to buy 3 of them, because I can't just buy 2 of them and then use the same here, because they have different projectile speeds, so I'm not gonna. I can also customize my ship, which is probably something a little bit more interesting. Like, I could buy a different shield here. This mod actually introduces several variants of each individual shield. In the basic game, I would basically just have the choice between this Class 1 Graviton shield and this Class 2 Graviton shield. First, there are different sorts of basic shields, which are Graviton, Positron, and Molecular, which protect against different weapons. Basically, this one provides improved protection from laser, photon, and pulse weapons, which is basically most weapons that we're gonna have to deal with right now. And but there are other shield types who protect against different weapons. So if you know against which enemies you're fighting and what weapons they're using, you can sort of get additional protection out of by switching your shields. The mod, in addition, also introduces 2 more variants, which is Arcanus and and Polaron, which are basically just variants of the basic shields, but Arcanus has sort of 50% more shield capacity, so it holds longer before it breaks down, but it regenerates slower. So the main points for shields is that they have a capacity and a regeneration rate. Arcanus shields have a much higher capacity, but regenerate a lot slower than the corresponding normal shield. On the other side, the Polaron shield has a lower capacity but a higher regeneration rate. What's better depends a lot on the specific combat scenario. Personally, I'm a fan of the Polaron shields because in long protected engagements, a better regeneration rate is in my book always better. There can be made some argument for the Arcanus shield that if you only have a short but tough engagement, you're actually saving stuff, because basically it has 3 times the capacity that Polaron shields have. So there can be made some argument for both choices. I'm gonna buy a Polaron shield though, because I like regeneration rate, so I'm gonna sell this and I'm gonna buy this, which basically takes up most of my money. You can also further customize your ship in this mod, which you didn't have the option to do in the basic game, by buying power plants. I don't have enough money to do so, but with this I can basically shoot my weapons longer, have a better power plant. And I can also modify the engine, which doesn't really do much other than change the way that the engine looks like. And I can also upgrade my scanner and tractor beam eventually, but I must be level 4 and 6 in order to do that. I don't want to buy more nanobots and shield batteries. Let's also head over to the commodity trader, because we also picked up some junk along the way. Yes, like this one. For every place that we've already visited, Trent basically make notes of what everything is worth there, so I can see that for this construction machinery doesn't really make any difference if I sell it here or on Planet New York. For the food rations, however, I get 8 more credits per unit when I sell it here, so I'll sell it here. I would have sold it here regardless, no matter how much I get, because this way I have free cargo space again, and since we're about to embark on another mission, it's probably helpful to have an empty cargo hold so you can pick up additional loot along the way. So, in the next episode we're gonna head out into space again and see what King has planned. Apparently he wants to strike back at these rogue pirates that attacked us, but we'll see that in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.